Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So recently I've been doing something that I've been putting off for years now. Ever since I was a kid, I've had the opportunity, but I just never did. And that is to read slash watch One Piece. One Piece has always been that show that is this massive thing. Uh, I've grown up on anime ever since I was a kid. I was watching Blue Dragon, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that good stuff. But One Piece was never something I was actually fond of. I never really found myself appealed to the idea of One Piece. I mean, it's just pirates, but the main character was stretchy. That's kind of like the whole thing that everyone advertised to me. It's like yeah, it's pirates, but like they had superpowers. It's like okay, cool, I guess. But I just never really saw the appeal. Um, Years down the line, uh, I really started to hate One Piece honestly because I never understood like why it was so popular, and it just kept getting more and more popular as things go on. And that was in my phase of life where I was really cringy and just trying to be like my opinions are cool because try to be contrarian. Um, and I kind of got past being contrarian. For the sake of being contrarian, I am still very contrarian about things that I don't like. Um, ask any of my friends my opinion on Ocarina of Time, and oh boy. Um, but One Piece is one of those that just kind of fell to the wayside. Like I never really had a good reason to hate it. I never watched it. I never read it. So I stopped disliking it, and I always figured one day I'll give it a go. One day I will uh just give it a shot. But then, like everyone else, I looked at how long it was. I think when I genuinely thought about getting into it, it was like 800 chapters. uh, which is crazy. It's wild, but that was way too overwhelming for me. I was like, I could just do something else entirely. I read my favorite manga at that time, Dead Man Wonderland. Dead Man Wonderland's wonderful, but yeah, 800 chapters was too long. And I was gonna read it because that amount of time split up across an anime, especially with filler arcs, not a chance in hell. Uh, so I then uh, just put it on the back burner, decided to do other things, read other manga, watch other anime, play other games, experience a multiple amount of things with the time that I could have done reading One Piece. I've come today to say that that was a mistake. One Piece is now over 1,000 chapters. I think it's about to reach 1,100. I think it's like 1,090 something. Uh, but I can now say that I'm a fan of One Piece. It started maybe like 3, 4 years ago. I started watching One Piece because it was on Netflix, and my general manager at a store I was working at uh, was just like hyping it up. But and like I was just I don't know. I've had it hyped up a lot, but hearing it from him specifically, uh, it was just kind of really. He and I got along really well, so it was really easy for him to like say things that like hit my brain specifically because his brain was very similar. Um, and so I started watching One Piece. I watched 19 episodes, I think. I don't think I even reached episode 20. Watched 19 episodes, and then something else came out, and I stopped watching One Piece. Um, but flash forward to now, uh, I decided, or when the live action came out, uh, I watched I watched a little bit of the live action because I was like, sure, why not? This looks like it's gonna be pretty decent. I just hope that doesn't suck. Um, but I watch it and I'm like, damn, this is cool. I watch right up until the Sanji episode because uh, that's where I basically stopped in the anime, and so I'm like, I was getting invested because I'm like, damn, this is actually really good. So I stop watching, and then I read. Uh, I read from the beginning again, so I've experienced the beginning in all three forms. Um, so I read from the beginning all the way to Arlong's arc, and then I like watched the show up to where um I watched the show up to where I read, and then I'd stop watching, and then I'd read further, and then I finished the whole thing of Arlong's arc, and I remember seeing the the Nami scene where she asks Luffy for help, and I'm like, I get it now. It's like that one meme from Always Sunny where Danny DeVito's character is like just crying in the prison cell. He's like, I get it. I finally get it. That was me, genuinely. Um, One Piece, like once they hit that point, like it was pretty funny before. It was, I don't know if I'd say it's on par of OG Dragon Ball, because I love OG Dragon Ball. um, but it was definitely up there. It was really good. But once it hit the Arlong Park, and once like Usopp, Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy were all like fighting, uh, the fish people, and just like all that shit was going, especially the scene after the help where Luffy's like, "Let's go," and the boys stanced up, crazy. I was like, "I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I gotta keep reading. I gotta keep going and going." And so every day I started reading maybe like 10 chapters a day, um, like everything here and there because I, obviously have work and that exhausts me. So some days I didn't want to read. Um, so Arlong was a great thing. It took a little while to get to that hook point, though. I will say that's a big issue for One Piece, especially considering how long of a series it is. It took a little while to get to the hook. Um, but now that I am hooked, I went to, read the next whole entire arc, the Alabasta, and even I don't know if it's even better. I think altogether it was like just a whole thing higher quality, because Oda got better at writing and got better at all that. They also had my favorite bit because there's this one uh sh- like short video on YouTube where it's from the Four Kids dub where Zoro's like, "Hey Luffy, good to see you, buddy," and Luffy's like, "Save it!" and he like fucking like expands and tries to jump and attack Zoro, and Zoro's voice actually just gives a very guttural Luffy sound. It was great. Um, but I got to that part, and I remember 'cause I was reading the manga on my phone. I screenshotted my friend. I'm like, he said the line. He said the line, and like it felt nice just to be able to enjoy One Piece, just to be able to enjoy this thing that for such a long, ever since I was a kid, I've never gotten into. Just to finally understand and get it, and just enjoy everything is great. Um, Admittedly, I stopped reading it. I just because I kept reading it on and on and on. I took a like probably like a month long break, but I'm gonna get back into it. I finished Alabasta, and I started the Sky Island saga. So I'm gonna go through that. Uh, but I really just want to talk about how much I love One Piece, and especially here now, I want to talk about why it's the thing that changed my life. And it really has to do with a lot of the characters of One Piece, especially Luffy. This might be a little cringe to say, um, but uh, for someone who's really socially inept like me, I tend to get a lot more motivation from things that I consume, from media, shows, like informational reading, all that. I like to get inspiration from those, and I was in a bit of a rut. I was in a really big rut. I was just kind of living life just as a blur. But honestly, the Straw Hats, just the entirety of them, really gave me inspiration. I started exercising. Uh, I just started trying to be a little more social. It's weird to say for sure, but it's definitely not an understatement that One Piece has definitely changed my life for the better. It makes me feel better reading the manga, and that just really goes to show the power of a power of media, a power of literature, manga, anime, movies, games, uh, literary novels, etc. The power of media is very influential, and some people will like say it's dumb. Oh, it's just fiction. Who cares? But at the end of the day, fiction, like anything else, is made by a person. All these stories are for people, by people, and there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from it. And that's how One Piece changed my life. That's how this manga that I read 200 chapters of, and I'm gonna catch up on definitely, just made me feel a little better. And I really just wanted to share that. So, uh, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.